welcome to another episode of Sci-Connect. I am Teacher Roby and I am your science teacher for today. Are you now ready to learn? Let's start! Mendelian Principle of Inheritance. This lesson is just connected to the previous lesson about cell division. So learners, get ready for you are going to learn more about this principle in this video lesson. The most essential learning competency for this lesson are the following. Explain the significance of meiosis in maintaining the chromosome number and predict phenotypic expressions of traits following simple patterns of inheritance. For the specific learning targets, in this lesson, the learners will be able to understand how cells divide to produce new cells and understand meiosis as one of the processes producing genetic variations of the Mendelian pattern of inheritance. Learners, I want you to try this activity for us to measure how much you know about the Mendelian principle of inheritance. Directions: choose the letter of the correct answer and write it in your activity notebook. Number 1. Which of the following processes does meiosis will be significant? A. Budding. B. Gametogenesis. C. Parthenogenesis. D. Binary fission. Number 2. In human male, meiosis is significant in the formation of blank. A. 4 diploid sperm. B. 4 haploid sperm. C. 23 diploid sperm. D. 23 haploid sperm. Number 3. What is the chart used to determine the possible contribution of genes among offspring given the genotypes of the parents? A. Gene chart. B. Punnett square. C. Phenotypic chart. D. Heredity chart. Number 4. Meiosis results in the formation of blank. A. Clones. B. Egg. C. Gametes. D. Sperm. Number 5. Making a cross between heterozygous round tomatoes, it will produce a blank. A. 1/4 homozygous round, 1/2 heterozygous round, and 1/4 homozygous wrinkled. B. 1/2 homozygous round, 1/4 heterozygous round, and 1/4 homozygous wrinkled. C. 1/4 homozygous round, 1/4 heterozygous round, and 1/2 homozygous wrinkled. D. 1/4 homozygous round, 1/4 heterozygous wrinkled, and 1/2 homozygous wrinkled. Good job, learners, for trying the activity. How did you find the test? If you find it difficult, do not worry, for you will learn more as we move on to our activities. This time, I want you to do this activity. Directions: identify what is described in each number. Choose your answer from the pool of words on the left side below. Write your answers in your activity notebook. The pool of words consists of the following: dominant, genes, heredity, hybrid, and recessive. For number 1, the factors that control the appearance. Number 2, the trait that matched with other trait. Number 3, the trait that is unexpressed. 4, the transfer of traits from the parent to the offspring. 5, the offspring of crosses between pure parents showing contrasting traits. And we have here the word bank. The definitions of the words used in this video lesson are found here. Familiarize yourself with the definitions of gametogenesis, genotype, heterozygous, homozygous, and phenotype. This time, learners, let us explore the Mendelian principle of inheritance through this activity. Directions: copy and complete the Punnett square for the cross, then answer the guide questions that follow. Do this in your activity notebook. This activity is entitled Amazing Dog Traits. A dog with long hair is crossed with one that has short hair. Complete the Punnett square on the side. Here are the guide questions. 1. What is the dominant trait of the offsprings? 2. What is the recessive trait of the offsprings? 3. How many from the offsprings will have long hair? How about short hair? 4. What is the genotypic ratio and the phenotypic ratio of the offsprings? Very good, learners! You have finished the activity about the test cross and you were able to understand more the pattern of inheritance. This time, learners, we are going to discuss about the Mendelian principle of inheritance. You can take down notes in your science notebook. The way in which traits are passed from one generation to the next and sometimes skip generations was first explained by Gregor Mendel. By experimenting with pea plant breeding, Mendel developed 3 principles of inheritance that describe the transmission of genetic traits before anyone knew genes existed. Study the diagram and analyze the different traits of the pea plants that Gregor Mendel has studied. Mendel developed principles of 1. Dominance. One form of a hereditary trait dominates or prevents the expression of the recessive trait. 2. Segregation. Splitting of chromosomes during meiosis. 3. Recombination. Combining chromosomes from both the sperm and egg during fertilization. 4. Independent assortment. Independent segregation of genes during the formation of gametes. Mendel determined that since peas reproduce sexually, there must be 2 characters called alleles that influence each trait, one from the egg and one from the sperm. Alleles are represented by letters. In his study, Mendel began by cross-pollinating pure plants with contrasting traits. Example, pure tall crossed with pure short. Mendel then observed that the offspring are first filial generation and noticed only one trait, which is tall. The sample test cross is given on the right side, and then Mendel then used 2 of these F1 tall plants and crossed them. Example, F1 tall plant crossed with F1 tall plant. The sample test cross is shown on the right side. From this F1 cross, he observed both traits in the offspring on the second filial generation or F2, but in an unequal proportion, 75% tall and 25% short, or 3 tall is to 1 short. Mendel determined that one form of the trait is dominant over the other recessive trait. Tall is dominant over short. Now, let us discuss the Mendel's first law of dominance. One form of hereditary trait dominates or prevents the expression of the recessive trait. Dominant allele uses capital letter like green using capital letter G, and the recessive allele uses lowercase letter like yellow using small letter g. Remember also that phenotype is the appearance of the offspring. These are the traits that can be seen. Genotype, on the other hand, is the genetic makeup of an individual. Homozygous or pure, both alleles are the same. Heterozygous or hybrid, possessing two different alleles for the same trait. Then we have here the Mendel's second law of dominance. Gametes formed during meiosis separate alleles so that each gamete contains only one gene for each trait. At fertilization, the alleles combine to form new combinations. He tested this hypothesis by predicting the outcome of crosses he never did before. And as additional informations, Punnett square is used to predict the outcome of genetic crosses, and hybrid cross is when two heterozygotes are crossed. There are three possible genotypes which occur in 1:1 ratio. Learners, I hope you are able to digest well those informations in your mind, because this time we are going to apply what you have learned. Directions: analyze the test cross problem and solve by creating a test cross. The problem is a pea plant with green pod color is crossed with a pea plant with yellow pod color. What percentage of offsprings will have green pod color? How about yellow pod color? You are also going to write the genotypic ratio and the phenotypic ratio. In this part, you are going to share your insights by completing the following sentence prompts. I have learned that, I wish to ask my teacher about, and you are going to do this in your activity notebook. And just like that, we are now in the last part of this video lesson. We are going to assess what you have learned. Directions: choose the letter of the correct answer and write it in your activity notebook. 1. What is the chart used to determine the possible contribution of genes among offsprings given the genotypes of the parents? A. Gene chart. B. Heredity chart. C. Punnett square. D. Phenotypic chart. Number 2. Meiosis results in the formation of blank. A. Clones. B. Egg. C. Gametes. D. Sperm. Number 3. Which of the following processes does meiosis will be significant? A. Budding. B. Gametogenesis. C. Parthenogenesis. D. Binary fission. Number 4. In human male, meiosis is significant in the formation of blank. A. 4 diploid sperm. B. 4 haploid sperm. C. 23 diploid sperm. D. 23 haploid sperm. Number 5. Making a cross between heterozygous round tomatoes, it will produce a blank. A. 1/4 homozygous round, 1/2 heterozygous round, and 1/4 homozygous wrinkled. B. 1/2 homozygous round, 1/4 heterozygous round, and 1/4 homozygous wrinkled. C. 1/4 homozygous round, 1/4 heterozygous round, and 1/2 homozygous wrinkled. D. 1/4 homozygous round, 1/4 heterozygous wrinkled, and 1/2 homozygous wrinkled. Congratulations, learners, for finishing the video lesson about the Mendelian principle of inheritance. As a reminder, do not forget to keep your activity notebooks because it will be collected and will be checked by your science teacher. Answer diligently. Congratulations, learners, for finishing this video lesson. I hope you enjoyed learning with me today. Remember, learning is fun with Sci-Connect.